Mate, back when we used to coach, you was a fucking nightmare to try and pick up on a Sunday morning.
I was steaming somewhere. I was either steaming in some random house, or I didn't even know where I was. I was asleep.
You never ever used to answer the phone. Do you remember that time when I rang you off my dad's phone?
Yeah.
Let me just explain this story to people listening. He never used to answer the phone whenever I call him. I used to pick him up most mornings about 8 a.m. He'd be ringing. And I knew from the texts from the night before that he'd been out that night. So before I left the house, and I was living at home at the time, I rang off my dad's phone, and he answered straight away, and he put on the most sober voice he could. He was like, "All right, Paul."
Hello, Paul.
And I went, "It's Conor, mate." And immediately he just went back to being steaming and was like, "Yeah,
I'm struggling. I ain't gonna get out of bed today."
Fucking class.
The thing is, you persisted, didn't you? There's so many times I was like, "Mate, I can't make it today. Just get anyone else to help coach you because I'm struggling." Then the next thing I know, he's outside wherever I was, my house or some random house, and he's just there. So, oh, fuck, so I'll go and coach these pricks now, have I? Cheers.
Out of the podcast.
Hello, lads.
How you doing, mate? You all right? All right, mate.
Good. You?
Yeah, all good, thanks. You must have
How you
quick
doing,
internet,
boys?
mate. Where are you? How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
We're just in my my little cinema room, mate.
Yeah, perfect. You both sound clear. That's the important thing.
Good.
Conor just eats McDonald's all over the place. He had a bit of everyone last night, so we'll see how he does.
He'll be on form then.
Yeah, probably
still pissed.
he'll probably be even better than he usually is, to be honest. Right, welcome to our guest today. We've got father and son duo who are current Sholing management, Dave Diaper and Marc Diaper. They've both been at the club for over 20 years, which is an achievement in itself. I'm just going to go through all of their stats, and bear with me because there's a fair old amount. So obviously you start with the biggest one, FA Vase winners in 2014. They've won the Wessex Premier. They come runners-up on 3 occasions in the Wessex Premier as well. Also runners-up in the Southern Division once. They've won the Southampton Senior Cup 6 occasions. They've won the Wessex League on 2 occasions. The Wessex League Cup, on 2 occasions. And the Hampshire League on 2 occasions. And the Russell Coates. How could I forget the Russell Coates? That's probably the most important one to you guys, isn't it? The prestigious Russell Coates.
Great cup.
And just to finish with that, you've actually managed 1,118 games, Dave, and it says here that you've had a 65% win ratio, which is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're very impressive stats there. So quite a career that you've had at Sholing. Is there any way you want to start with us on how it all began, how you came to the club and
sure,
basically made it your own?
Yeah, I mean, it was back in the year 2000, really. I was manager of BAT at the time, and I got an approach from the committee members of Vosper's, as it was, and had a meeting at my office in West Key Road, Southampton at BSA, and that's where it was sort of created, really. They asked me if I wanted to come along, and I went along with Mickey Brown, actually, was my best mate. And I got introduced to lads. I knew most of the lads anyway, but obviously there were some players which were better than others. There's probably about 2 or 3 decent players, to be honest with you, when I first went there. And it just progressed from there, really. It just took over my life, really. There's so much to do, It's like going to a place where, you've got a clean sheet, really. Start again. It was start again time. So obviously I used my contacts, which I had. And it's about players management. It's always about players. If you're going to be successful, you have decent players. And the manager's only as good as the players he's got playing for him, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with the place, really. 13 acres at Portsmouth Road. Who would have thought it, eh?
No, exactly.
And I was a local lad anyway. I was brought up on Western Estate, so I was quite local to it. And it just grew from there, really. The players I brought in, really grew with the place as well, and it was great. Obviously, football's about winning, but it's about more than that. It's about enjoyment, you know. I mean, when you look back on your career, I still say that it's not really who you played for, but it's what you won. And we've been lucky enough to have a great team over the years. And,
Byron said you call them gongs, don't you?
Gongs, mate, yeah.
Yeah, we had a little joke about it on episode 1 because he was saying, Dave always calls them gongs. I was thinking, gongs, ain't that? That's what happens when the Undertaker comes out. The gong hits.
Yes, mate. Look. Yes, true enough. Yeah, but
and then you've got obviously plenty of them because it took me about 5 minutes to reel them all off just a minute ago.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's about memories. It's about making memories as well. And I've been lucky enough to have some great players who's played for the club, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, so it's good, you know, because you get to know everybody in football. I mean, you guys must have the same thing when you go down the street. You know, there's always people you bump into, you meet, and you know, a couple of times in supermarkets I've been stopped and hello Dave, but I don't even know who they are. But it's just. It's just one of those things, really. It's a great experience.
I don't really have that problem, Dave. I usually get, how's your dad? No one really gives a fuck about me.
I get the same problem, to be honest.
What's your name again? Oh, how's your dad anyway?
Oh, dear. I don't know. Oh, your old man is a top bloke as well, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I had many conversations with him on the phone when he was running Winchester City. And used to
trying to sign players.
Yeah. No, we just phone up and have a chat, and it was decent. It was good. We
used to be like, take who you want.
What's the offering? I'll have a listen.
Oh dear. Yeah. Because Deno was down with your old man at Winchester as well, wasn't he? Mark Dennis.
Yeah, we've got him on the show. He's on the one after this actually. So
another top guy.
He's it's going to be a pretty candid interview, I reckon. You don't really hold back, Mark. I mean, he's
no filter.
No, definitely not. But that's what you want, don't you? You don't want people to put up a facade about the whole thing. You want people to talk about it.
Of course not. I mean, it's basically the football family, really. And Sholing, I've always treated like as a family. You know, Rory, you were there as well. I mean, I mean that's why we win percentage, not 70%, by the way. But I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking. No, you're a top goalkeeper. You're a good lad, mate.
The thing is, obviously, that I think that percentage of wins it comes from the fact that they would always play they'd put handball and Sholing together in every single cup competition they could.
It did seem like that, mate, didn't it?
And and I think the best we ever done was we might have got a 1-1 draw here in the last minute or something. And other than that, you've beat us every time. So you can thank me later for that win percentage.
Oh dear, I don't know.
So obviously, so when you took over, I guess Mark come across with you straight away straight into the team with you. And if you want to just tell us a little bit about your, whoever wants to talk first about your managerial career or your playing career, how it's sort of.
Yeah, I can carry on, yeah.
Yeah, fine. So, I mean, started off, obviously, I did 7 years at Southampton to start with. And when I got released from Southampton, I went to Eastleigh. Played for the youth team for a couple of years, and whilst I was there, I played for Otterbourne actually when I was 16. My old man was manager, so I could get a game there as well, which is always good. Yeah. And then my old man went to BAT, so I went across to BAT with him.
Yeah.
And then the year after, he went to VT, and I didn't want to drop down a level, so I went to Tottenham actually, played a season at Tottenham.
Yeah.
So I got about halfway through the season, wasn't enjoying it. Went and watched a couple of VT games, and the lads down there were brilliant, to be honest. So they kind of convinced me with my old man to come across, and I came across in 2000. So did 14 years playing, so through VTFC, and then Sholing, 650 games, about 500 goals.
Own goals. There must have been a lot of free kicks. I can't figure out any other way you score.
No, I feel about 60 goals. The lads say don't count those. I think 20 of them are in the Hampshire League. They say don't count. So anyway, and then I retired after Wembley. Don't know if I mentioned before, but I played at Wembley. So I retired after Wembley, and then did a season out, and then I did another season playing for Tottenham. So I went to Tottenham when I was like 36, 37.
Just to test yourself.
Well, do you know what? I went there just to see what it's like not to win that much, to be honest. So that worked out well. I think we come 17th in the league, so that was all right.
Just to see if you get into a side about your old man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, did about 30 games on the bench, to be honest. And then it was actually, to be fair to Tottenham, it was a really good season. It's a decent setup down there.
Yeah.
Good crack. I went across there because Jamie Cotton was there, and obviously I knew Steve Hollick. So we had a really good season. It was good fun. It was different. It was different to play under different pressures. Obviously, when you play for your old man, you've always got to maintain a certain level because, you're always starting one step behind everyone else, really, with people watching and stuff. So it makes it more difficult. And then after that season, I came to Sholing as assistant manager in 2016. So, it's been quite a journey.
Very good, very good. And Dave, did you have any sort of playing career yourself, or
yes,
you always
mate.
into just coaching or managing? Or
no, I mean, basically, I represented because I'm pretty proud of it, really. Under Southampton boys at under 11, basically under 12s, etc., which was quite good. So I went to Weston Park, and Alex Perkins, thankfully, was the manager at that time of the Southampton boys, and so I think that was a foot in the door already.
Yeah.
But about 12, 13, you meet girls and the rest of it, like you guys must have known, obviously. Yeah. And at that time, I lived at Bitton Park. I used to catch 2 buses to school at Weston Park because my mum and dad moved out the area. And obviously, Weston Park boys was a boys' school, and Bitton Park was obviously mixed. So it wasn't too long that I was, starting to sort of like be late at school on purpose, so to speak. So, the headmaster said that, you can't come catch 2 buses, so you have to go to Bitton Park, which I went to Bitton Park, so it's not a problem, But, and then I played for a team when I was 16, like Shaw United, but they were my local Southampton football club team, basically. Pretty shit, to be honest with you. I think they started off with Weston Shaw United, but I think Weston didn't want to be associated with them. They were so poor. But then really basically work took over, apprentice electrician, and learnt my trade, and I was working most Saturdays. But like most things, I tried to make sort of football and work get some sort of combination. And the bloke I was working for, because I was a subcontractor, was a guy called Tony Alford from Cadnam United. And he said to me, look, he said, if you play football for me, I'll give you 6 months' work. So there was no decision to be made, really. Played for Cadnam United for probably 3-4 years. And then I went to Netley Victoria, Pirellis, and
Pirates.
Pirellis, mate, yeah, decent outfit, and played for Otterbourne, obviously, where I was player manager as well, and then BAT, AC Dalco. But obviously, I got into management, player side of it at Otterbourne as well, and it was quite good. But I must say, when I was at Pirellis, we played. It was a Magic Bullet appeal, basically, where we played Chelsea Football Club. And okay. I've still got a program I've got in front of me now, and it's amazing, really, because I do tend to keep things, and some of the players then was Dave Besson, Graham Roberts, obviously used to go to Weston Park School.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah. Let's see, Kerry Dixon, Tony DeRigo, Mickey Hazard, Pete Nicholas, Steve Clark, the Scotland manager, Gordon Jury, and a guy called Kevin Wilson. So there was two England internationals in that, 2 Scottish internationals, 1 Ireland.
And you obviously beat them, did you?
I'll be honest, mate, I only got 1 touch, I think, the whole game.
and that was kickoff.
And I played for 90 minutes as well. But no, it's great. It was a great appeal. There was 3 lads at Weston Park School that were suffering with cancer, and this Magic Bullet appeal was done in association with the Evening Echo and Weston Park, and I think we raised £40,000 basically. So that was tremendous. But it was great feeling to play against Chelsea Football Club,
Yeah, definitely.
And fair play to him, because Graham Roberts at the time was only 29, I think, when we played. So it wasn't a sort of team of has-beens; it was a decent football outfit.
Yeah.
So but they're not Otterbourne, really. Won the Southampton Senior Cup with Otterbourne down at Dow. Got sent off at the Dow, so I made 60 minutes and then got sent off. So. That's a long walk back. I tell you, down the old Dow. I don't know if you used to go there at all.
I used to love it down there. I used to love it. I used to go there all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were 1-0 up at the time, and it was about half hour to go, and well, I remember getting sent off, and I was walking along the touchline, and it was quite weird, because it was like, when you look into the crowd, it's really dark, because the terrace steps went back quite sort of like deep into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the normal thing, it was like, oh, Dipe's unlucky, mate. Oh, referee, what are you doing? What are you sending them off for?
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. So 2 or 3 comments like that. And then one of them was, Dipe's stupid twat, fucking wanker. What are you doing? Stupid twit. So that was it. It's sort of like...
And that was me.
So, yeah. I know it was a great experience, though. But I say it's about football, and it's built up with memories, really. And we went on to win that 1-0, so happy days.
Yeah, just talking about the Dell. I remember when I was a kid, I did like a little, when I was at Saints Academy, I did a little, they did this thing where they brought the kids out before the game, and they did like a little penalty shootout or pass and have a shot against the goalkeeper on the pitch. But that's one of my fondest memories of being at the Dell. I remember I was making saves. I could, like you were saying, you can hear the crowd because they're quite close to you, can't you? Like back in the day in them kind of stadiums. Can't call them stadiums, grounds, I suppose. And and I was making some saves, and you could hear the crowd going, "Oh, he's a good little keeper." I'm pretty sure it was a game when Saints won 6-3 against United. Do you remember that game? The old grey shirt, that old chestnut one.
That's right.
And and then as I'm making these saves, David Beckham's run past me and ruffled my hair. And like this was back when he was like the Spice Boy Beckham, and I was just like literally like a deer in headlights, like, oh, Beckham's just rubbed my hair. Like literally, like you were saying about the Dell, I have loads of fond memories of that. And it's those sort of grounds, they're you cherish them, don't you? Because the atmosphere is not the same anymore when you go to these big stadiums.
No. It's a personal thing, really. It was great, the atmosphere was tremendous, like you say. And I'll tell you what, when I first, this is going back a long time now. When I first went there, when I was probably about 10 years of age, it was quite funny because it's about health and safety nowadays and the rest of it. But there used to be 2 guys with this board they used to sort of carry around. It was quite a high board, and what they did to raise money, you would throw coins at it. Well, you imagine that nowadays. You basically throw a coin and it slide down into this sort of like trough. And the amount of it's unbelievable what used to go on, But it used to be a fun day out,
Yeah.
It wasn't just 90 minutes. It was like a whole day, basically.
Not even allowed bottle caps anymore. No, I take them.
That's right, mate. That's right.
Let alone I just chuck a coin at this board. See how you get on with that.
The pitch there was unreal as well. The pitch there was like it was probably, I'd say it was better than what the current St Mary's is. So played down there, and it was probably the best pitch I've played on. To be fair, Wembley was brilliant, but it was so nice at the old Dale.
Was it? Was it a big pitch? Obviously, when I only played on it when I was a little kid, like I was saying, and everything seems big when you're like 8 years old. But did it seem like a big pitch to you, or no different really to the not sort of non-league pitches that we play on?
It was quite false looking, really, because obviously where it was enclosed so tight, it was quite a big pitch. Yeah, to be honest with you, playing on it, it was it was a big pitch. But like I say, you only had 2 steps back to take a corner, really, and you were hitting the wall. You had to be sort of pretty good with your set pieces and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a tremendous atmosphere.
There's another story I remember when we was at the Dell, and I remember, like you're saying, you could literally touch the players, couldn't you, when they were taking a throw in?
Yeah,
it might have even been the same game. I remember Beckham was taking a throw in once, and someone was giving him shit like they do. As he's gone to take the throw in, he's like backed up against him, and he's like wedgied himself and literally like rubbed himself against the fan. And, that's brilliant. That was quite funny. But if we should we touch on the sort of the achievements that you've had over the years at Sholing? Or would you say, I mean, we'll get to the Vars because that's the obvious thing towards the end in as much as achievements, but going like you say, your footballing's all about memories to you. Is there some of the best memories you can give us from your time as management and as a player?
Yeah, I'll give you one. I mean, I've got a few funny stories. I mean, they're funny to me. We'll be sitting here laughing, but probably no one else will find them funny. But there's a lad played for us. Do you remember Mike Spinney?
Yeah.
He's such a top lad, but he was horrible to play against. If you ever played against him, he was as hard as they come, like, he'd run through walls. But sometimes his touch wasn't brilliant. And we played at Braden, and we were referee blew for a free kick, and the ball's gone about 50 foot in the air, and Spinney's tried to control it, right, and he's come off his shin and gone about 30 yards out off the ground, and the referee's come over and booked him for kicking the ball away. It was absolute class, and the best about it is that the fact that he was trying to justify it to the referee. He was like, no.
That's a shit touch.
It gives a shit touch. I'll try to control it, and refs give him a yellow card. We were absolutely rolled up. It was absolutely brilliant. He's never lived that down. We see him out in town now. We always mention it. It was about 20 years ago. It's absolutely brilliant.
Just one touch, man.
Oh, so bad.
He must have been getting sent off every week then, because his touch has never been any good, has it?
Oh no, it was just like comedy though. And it went miles, by the way. It literally centre of the pitch. It went off, like, would have gone out for a throw-in. It was that far.
Oh, that's brilliant. Benny, he was a funny bloke, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's another one as well. Only about 2 or 3 years ago, actually, because we were playing Brockenhurst in the semi-final at Follins of the Southampton Senior Cup.
Yeah,
and I bet everybody knows him. But it's Rudy. Remember Rudy, the referee?
Yeah. Oh, the referee.
Yeah, referee, mate. Actually, he did the middle that night, and it's really amazing because you know what Diapers is like in the technical area, don't you? He's given it a large one, and
what, baby Diapers?
Yeah, baby Diapers. Yeah, he's given it a large one, and Rudy comes over. And he's really giving Diapers a dressing down, and his teeth fall out. And it was mid-sentence, and we're on the deck, and we're trying to find his teeth for him. But he managed to find them. He picked them up, but instead of brushing the grass off, he put them straight in his mouth.
Wow.
he was carrying
like
on
a horse.
Just
Just shoved his teeth back in with all this grass in it.
That cracked me up. That was really funny.
It was class, and Byron started laughing, and he goes, "Enough from you. We go in the book." And Byron's like, "You can't book me because your teeth fell out." Like, oh Jesus! And then you obviously remember Salesy that used to play for us.
Yeah, Byron touched on that a little bit. Big horse.
Yeah, so Horse. So when he signed for us, though, he took my old man about 3 years to convince him to sign. And then I think his knees were going, so he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll drop down a couple of levels."
Yeah.
But his first game for us, he came along to the club, and our changing rooms, it never bothered me because I was always used to our changing rooms. But when you had players coming down from higher levels, like we had sort of Saints under 23s or Bournemouth under 23s, is to walk into the changing room and be like, "What the fuck's this?"
It was just dungeon.
It's horrendous. But it never bothered us because we're just used to it. Anyway, Salesy signs for us. He comes in the changing rooms and he's looking around. That wasn't the worst thing. After the game, you know, the shower areas have got like sort of wooden floors, and they've got this like thin rubber kind of like flooring on them. Well, the floor had collapsed, and there's about a 4-foot drop down to the floor. And I think they'd been eaten by rats, or the wood's been eaten by rats.
Yeah.
And we got out of the game. I think we had like lukewarm showers, and you had to climb down 4 foot into this kind of mud pit to get showered. Salesy looked at me and he's like, honestly, you come out dirty, all the mud's like squeezed between your toes. And Salsy's looked at me, he's gone, "Fuck is this?" Oh, brilliant. Do you know what though, Rory? My funny story from football actually isn't about football. It was actually Cafe Parfait.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
Oh, mate. So we're in Cafe Parfait, and if you know Cafe Parfait, you go in on the right-hand side, there's some tables there. And we'd had a few beers by then. It must have been about midnight, 1 o'clock. And I've just seen this guy like about 20 foot away playing a saxophone in the top corner of the room. And Rory, what was it on our table? Was it grapes, or was it
grapes?
Firstly, why was there grapes on the table?
I think that because Parfait just try and give it the big one, don't they? Like, yeah, here's your luxurious VIP area with grapes and
Tesco grapes.
Bottle of champagne and grapes, so big time. We were sat up there.
There wasn't no one like feeding them to us, but you know, that would have been the next step, wouldn't it?
We fed him to the guy on the saxophone. We didn't have a choice about it. So I was like, "Rory, see the fella up there?" He's like, "You're like, yeah." I was like, "Right, £5 in, Sue can hit on the head first. We've started throwing these grapes, and not just about throwing these grapes, we're absolutely proper luzzing these grapes at him. And then Rory, you've hit him straight on the head, and he's gone mental. He's gone mental. He's always stuck the mouthpiece and the fat saxophone in, and the doorman's come over and said, "Look, lads, as funny as it is, can you please stop doing it?" Because he was getting proper pissed off. But
imagine we'd have plugged the end of his saxophone with one. Boom. Play that, mate.
So, Mark, obviously we got a great deal in common. Both footballers, both obviously have family ties in the same team. I just wanted to see if did you get any abuse or any sort of problems with that?
Probably not, mate. To be fair, because I was all right at football.
I knew that was coming. Yeah,
teed yourself right up for that.
I was about to say it helps you being a good player, but you said it anyway.
No, I completely get it.
I mean, in all seriousness, did you sort of get anything from the fans or anything like that?
Yeah, I did, to be fair. It's actually, as I started to get older, on a serious note, when I was younger, I was probably playing sort of a level or two below what I could do. So it was a bit different. I was playing like the Hampshire Premier League. So it wasn't difficult. And I think the lad and I came down a level or two to play. So I think then it was easy. As you get older, obviously, and you start going up the leagues, and we had a successful side as well. I was definitely more self-aware that I was getting into my sort of early mid-30s. So, if I took a corner and it wasn't quite right, you'd get grumbles, and then, just 2 or 3 in the crowd, to be fair. But I probably took it more personally than anything else, because I've got such high standards of my own performance. Like, I'm a perfectionist. So I took it quite personally. So I think that last season for me was perfect. I was 35, finished on a high with the Vars, and then called it a day. And I think that's why I went to Tottenham for that extra season. I spoke to my old man before I went there and said, "Look, I've had a year out. Do you mind if I go and play at Tottenham? You cool with that?" And he was, more than happy. I think it was just playing for a season without any pressure at that age, But you definitely, I mean, you must have had it yourself. You definitely get, 1 or 2 that will, make comments around why you're playing.
1 or 2? 1 or 200?
1 or 2, yeah. A couple of thousand.
We didn't have that.
I mean, and we're sort of quite similar. I mean, you were playing 2 standards below what you could. I was playing 4 standards above what I actually could. So.
Yeah, it's not easy. But I think what it does, though, I said earlier, it makes you have to be on your game all the time, because you don't want those comments, really. And, I didn't get it from the lads. You got a bit of stick here and there, but I just played with it, to be fair. If ever it came up, I'd play into the hands of it and be like, absolutely, yeah, it's won me 12 trophies. Don't worry about it.
When I was at Winch, it was obviously it was horrendous, really. Some of the stuff. I mean, we joke about it now, but at the time, it's fucking
the Daily Echo hot topic on every week.
Well, obviously, now, I'll send Rory up the screenshots of some of the stuff people would put in the comments about me and that,
and I crack up.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like now I laugh at the old thing, because obviously it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, my dad gave me an opportunity to play football at a good level, and I got a Wessex Prem medal out of it, so it's all worked out quite well.
Yeah, exactly.
What have they ever won, eh? What have they ever won?
Yeah, it's weird, though, as well, because, it's just non-league football. I think people take it way too serious. Like,
massively.
It's, let's be honest, we're all playing at the same level. Doesn't matter what level you've played at previously, you're all playing at the same level now. I've always looked at it that way. And people take it, I don't get me wrong, I take my football serious. I'm the worst loser ever. Like, if I lose a game, player or managing, I lose sleep for about 3 days, and I hate losing. But at the end of the day, it's non-league football, and as I say, people that go on these forums and start writing stuff and comments, you just think, get a life. Like, honestly, it's like
sad little men.
Real sad. Yeah.
I think as well, it sort of makes your character as well, being in that situation. Like, at the time, I fucking hated it, but it was personal. It was most of the time, it wasn't even about football. It was just any reason they could to really have a go at me, and I'm getting very upset now just talking.
Yeah, you know what? Funnily enough, in the end, I started carrying a bag of onions around with me just to give an excuse,
Just to disguise it.
Yeah. Mark, if you ever want to just meet up, pal, we can talk through it all.
Yeah, I was thinking about just setting up
put a few candles on, put some music on. We can just
Chairman's
cry
son.
together.
Maybe we'll do a podcast about it. Ex crap footballers whose dads were managers. We need to talk about it. There's probably a few of us out there, to be fair.
Go on, another subject, lads, here. But I was saying this to Raw, and I don't quite know how to sort of word it, so apologies if it don't come across right. But for me, Sholing is like so unique in the pulling power for your players. Like if you look at the local clubs, and we're based in Southampton, so for those who are listening, which they won't be outside of Southampton, but I don't know of any other club in our area that's been able to keep a core group of players for that amount of time and being successful as you are. I mean, what do you reckon it is about Sholing that keeps everyone together?
What it is, from my point of view, is any new player that comes to the club. We just had Ryan Clewett come from Southampton Football Club.
Money.
And he'd just been released. And I said to him, I said, this is quite unique. You're true. Exactly what you said, Conor. It is a family, The key thing to it all is the first time I come into a meeting with a player, they must enjoy themselves. Football is about enjoyment. And, everybody knows that, if you've got a happy player, you've got a player that's going to be playing really well. And that comes into it. So we do that. Everybody's like a code of conduct as well, We're very tight-knit. And, if you upset one, you upset the whole squad,
That's
that's the way it should be, win or lose. And it's not just about, it is. You've got to be a winner, but you can't create a winner. That winner comes from within. And that's what I say to the players. We've had some brilliant players, but it just haven't lasted because they've either been, too up their own arses, to be honest with you, or they just can't cut it with the rest of the guys, But we have 16-year-olds in our changing room, and I say to them, I'm not going to protect you. You've got to grow up pretty quick. You hit the ground running when you play for Sholing, But what I will say, if you get accepted into the squad, you've got people watching your back for your life. It's not just for football; it's just your life,
And that's the thing with, obviously, I'm at Handball on the management team, and for anyone who doesn't really know, Handball's literally about, if you drove there, it'd probably take 2 minutes to get there around the corner.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a joke, not so much now because we've changed our team. There's a lot of youngsters, but maybe 1 or 2 years ago, it was pretty much we were calling it the Sholing Graveyard. Everyone who had been at Sholing had come down the road, but they're all still good players. But obviously, Sholing are just
too tight knit.
Yeah, so tight knit, and we'll just keep adding better and better players. That some of the older lads sort of drifted away, ended up going to Handball. And there's a funny story actually. When I can't remember when it was. There's been so many occasions when Handball have played Sholing. Well, I know it was at Sholing, and the Ultras, who, if anyone don't know, they are it's your group of fans that always sing and dance and make a racket at all your games. And they started to sing this song, and it started with what's the song? How's that song go? When it's like used to be there's one about
used
Saints.
To be escape, he's all right
used to be escape, but he's all right now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's that tune. It's the old used to be escape, but he's all right now. But it was they would start with me, and it would be like, oh, Rory Anderson used to be at Sholing, now he's gone downhill.
Yeah, that's right.
and they went through the entire team, because the entire team at Handball had been at Sholing.
Yeah.
So it just shows that, like, even if it's tight knit at Sholing, we've all gone on to Handball and still been tight knit as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally went through the whole starting 11, and everyone had played at Sholing at some point as well. That's one time in a game where I've actually started laughing. Do you know what?
They've got some good.
They've got it spot on. Yeah, that was a good song. That one that made me.
Do you know what the best one I've heard in a football match is we were playing. Matt Brown was our goalie, and if you remember Brown was slightly overweight, and
yeah,
I think it was the playoff final, and he goes to take a goal kick. He puts the ball down, and as he starts walking backwards, they're all going beep beep. It's like, absolutely brilliant. That all of their supporters doing like he was reversing. It was so funny. I was like, me and Brighty were cracking up.
Do you remember that game when we went away? I'm not sure what. I think it was a cup game, and we played a team, and it was, for some reason, it just got real foggy all of a sudden. Do you remember that game?
It was Durham. We played.
Durham,
up near Norwich. That's where it was.
And the funniest thing, there's a picture of me playing that day, and I've got like the mentalist kit on. I've got like yellow socks on, pink shorts. I think I've got like an orange top. I've got like the most mixed match kit. And it was back when I used to have long hair, so I used to wear that headband as well. I don't know if you remember. And all their fans behind the goal, some of the fans are just ridiculous. This game, they were commenting on anything I'd done. If I moved to the left, they go, "No, he's moving to the left like an idiot." I bent down, look, he wants it in the ass and all this sort of stuff. And then they've obviously picked up on the headband. And he's got his mum's knickers on his head and all this headband. And then I think some of our fans were going, like they were singing a song saying he's the most beautiful goalie in the world or something like that. And then I remember it ended up getting on Instagram somehow. Them fans, because we had to go back and play them, didn't we? Because it got fogged off, should we say? Yeah, I don't know if that's
Fogged off.
yeah, fogged off.
That's official.
I don't know how often you can say that in your life. It got fogged off. But yeah, we had to go back and play them maybe a week or so later. And I remember they uploaded this video. It was either on Twitter or Instagram, and they'd all gone and bought headbands, and they were all singing and dancing with these headbands, like waiting for me to come back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you have to be some player to wear a headband, by the way. I remember playing for Tottenham that last season. Bear in mind, I was 36, 37, and we played Portchester away in the Cup. And my hair was getting long, and I was like, I'm going to have to put a headband on, because when you're headering a ball, it gets in your eyes. Anyway, I got this headband and I stuck it on, and then I was like, do you know what? I can't do this. I had to get some Vaseline and just brush my hair back. I just couldn't do that.
Just
I
glue
wasn't
it down.
good enough to be wearing a headband playing football. I'll be honest with you, But yeah, you pulled it off all right, Rory.
You've just got some gorilla glue like that. And just glued it down.
Washing Vaseline out my hair for the next 3 weeks.
Did you want to talk us through the Vars run, lads, and make us feel even more in fear than we already do?
Yeah. Well,
we're buzzing about winning the Wessex Premier.
From a management point of view, it's a real tester, because obviously you've got to make decisions about leaving players out, etc. And Coxey was quite unfortunate. He didn't actually make the squad at the end of the day. But we went the night before. We went up to a hotel on the outskirts of London, and what I did basically, I sat everybody down, just explained. I gave the team, announced the team, and then basically said that obviously that was going to be my final match. And it was quite any final, you leave out anybody, it's always difficult to do. It could be Southampton Senior Cup final. I remember, for instance, for Otterbourne, I was manager of Otterbourne, and one particular player, I left him out, but he was sub, but he never spoke to me again. And it's like Jarvo as well was a lovely bloke. I got on with his old man as well, but Jarvo, was on the bench, but it can't become personal, because at the end of the day, it's no point being management if you can't take the crap that comes with it, if through selection problems, etc. So it was really difficult to get to the actual final squad, and some big decisions had to be made. Browner was, to be honest with you, he was injured the week before, and it was touch and go. A couple of lads were saying that we've got to play. Can't remember who was.
Webby and Matt Renouf.
Yeah, Matt Renouf, that's right. And a couple of lads said about playing Matt Renouf or Webby, because but I had a chat with Brown, and I said, look, it's a one-off, and you're in good form, so I'm going to go with you. Even you might not make it the whole game, but we'll start with you and see what happens. And he had a tremendous game, absolutely fog-free game, tremendous.
He
was superb. But no, these decisions have got to be made, and but Dipes will tell you probably about some of the rounds which we played, because there was probably memories from big games every way, all the way through, weren't they?
We played Winchester City, didn't we, in the first round?
First round, yeah, beat them 1-0.
Yeah, Byron was telling us about how we give away the penalty for this.
Yeah. Who was in? Rory, you weren't playing there then, were you?
No, I think I joined the year after.
Right.
So once you'd all hit the peak,
yeah, we rode our luck, to be fair. Like after the Winch game, and then we had obviously gradually going through the rounds. Like there was games we shouldn't have won. Like you've all played in those games where you get absolutely battered and win 1-0. Like Warty scores. Warty was on fire. Like Warty was scoring about 50 goals a year. So So we had that, and I think the quarterfinal, last 16 then quarters, we won 1-0. And then the semi-final, we were at home first leg. We drew 2-2. Cart scored nearer the end. And then the semi-final second leg away at Eastbourne was unreal. We were 3-0 up in the first half. And we come off at half-time, and me and Pete Castle were sat opposite each other, and we were just smiling, looking at each other, just smiling. And
that's it. We're going to win.
I get goosebumps now. I just couldn't explain the feeling of being 3-0 up at half-time. Anyway, we go out for the second half, and it's like 3-1, and it's 3-2. And then Browner came out of goal and took this lad out, and it was. I mean, I've watched it back about 100 times. It's definitely a penalty, 100% a penalty. That would have been 3-3. And then what?
Well, they
no,
didn't
get
it,
penalty. Didn't get it. And I mean,
me
and people looking at each other after at 3-2 and just being like, "Oh, what's happening? What is happening here?" And then we scored. Watsy scored and made it 4-2, and that was about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then at that stage there, I mean, everything was just lumped. Like literally was coming to our box and just being volleyed out the ground.
Brought Spinney on to have a touch.
that's when Pistol said to me once, he goes, "I'll give you one thing, Dykes, about football you're good at. You can whack a ball." I was like, "Yeah, that's lucky in the semi-final, just like getting rid of it." But the feeling getting to the final was like massive. In fact, I missed the flight the next day. I was going on a stag do and I missed my flight the next day after the semi-final. Missed the stag do basically.
And I nearly ended up in hospital.
Yeah, Dykes got so pissed he fell out his car and banged his head on the floor. But yeah, it was unreal. And then obviously the Wembley experience itself was just like, taking it all in was important to not let a day pass you by, really. And the night before, the day before in a hotel and then at the game, and the game was a game. I mean, it didn't get bad, don't get me wrong, but it was even. But we definitely rode our luck, and Browner made some unreal saves. And I think the thing is as well, if you get to Wembley, people say, "Oh, but you've played there now." If we'd lost, it'd been so different. Like I would not want them to lose at Wembley. It just wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
So and then after that was a write-off. I think I stayed in a hotel in Southampton for 3 nights after that. So don't remember a lot about it, to be honest.
Just straight through.
But it's everything. I mean, because you get interviewed by Sky Sports, etc., and it just went off to a T. For 5 minutes she was interviewing me, and I thought, something, I'm really pleased with, what I'm saying, the rest of it was just flowing, And then she just said, "Oh, shit." I said, "What's up?" She goes, "Oh, I haven't had the record button on." So I had to do the same thing, and it come out completely different. But after the game as well, I mean, because once you're there, once you've won the game, all you want to do is be with the lads, in the changing room. But I got escorted into this big press room. I don't know if you've been to Wembley and you see the press area.
Only as a fan.
Rubbing it in, Dykes.
Oh, mate, I tell you, there was this like.
I was actually a Sholing fan.
Yeah. I mean, there's a massive desk basically, and it holds about 10 people. There was just me and this other guy. But then you look up, and there must have been about 40 or 50, press guys, and they're just, pummeling these questions at you, and all you want to do is get back with the lads and enjoy it. But there's some serious stuff going down, It's about, you went down from the Southern League and all this, and because obviously you can afford it, and I'm like, get off, mate, it's nothing to do with the game, just piss off, sort of thing, But it's all this stuff which people don't realise goes on behind the scenes, and it's a hell of a lot of work needed to be done. Even arranging the coaches for the fans going up there. It's probably about the most stressful 10 weeks before any game I've experienced in my life.
Let's have a talk about the best ever season. Obviously, City, 32 wins, most points ever right now. You've got the Invincibles. What do you reckon?
Well, for me, City. I mean, if you look at it, what's the objective of football? It's to win games, isn't it? And City, when they won the league, and it was the Centurion season, they got 100 points, most points that's ever been in a Premier League season. For me, that's untouchable. They've won 32 games out of 38. What more can you ask from a team?
Yeah, but not losing a game for a whole season is something pretty special.
Yeah.
And how many did they lose? 2?
They lost 2, drew 4.
Still going invincible for a season. For me, and I'm going to be biased because I'm an Arsenal fan.
Of course. You're still living in the past, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, you just got a fucking parking space inside City's ass. That's your problem.
Yeah.
I
do invite Pep over most weekends.
Yeah, to plough you in.
Rub his bowl dead.
No, I think for me, it's got to be the Invincibles. They went the whole season unbeaten.
Who wins? Centurions or the Invincibles?
Don't think you can compare them. I'll just leave it at that.
That sounds like someone running away from an argument. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Who we got on the line today? Who wants to discuss and give us a better option than the 2 teams that we've picked there? Is there any better options? We'll go to the phones now. Caller, who would you say has had the best ever season?
Just for having a fucking lot, yeah? City. Fucking shit.
This is Teddy, isn't it?
Is it Teddy?
I think it's Teddy.
All right, Ted.
All right, Ted, how are you, son?
Yeah, all right, sweet. You's all right?
Yeah, so, mate. So,
You're having a
you're not
fucking
having
laugh,
City
boys.
then,
You
no?
ain't got a clue what you're fucking talking about, you know what I mean? You're a pair of cunts, you know? City are shit. They're fucking boring. They're shit. It's like throwing shit at a wall, you know what I mean? You throw enough money at something's going to stick eventually, isn't it? I wouldn't even fucking play for City. I wouldn't even fucking play for City. They're shit. Fucking great big empty cancer house. Fucking horrible. You ever been there? Manchester City? It's fucking shameless. They've all got scurvy. It's a proper Channel 5 turnout.
So you go in 2008 then, are you?
You're having a fucking laugh. Yeah, 2008. How about winning a fucking treble on your own? How about that? Best season ever. Eh?
On your own?
About fucking trebles, you cunt.
On your own? Didn't when you're on the bench after most of the season?
I'll drop me out. It's fucking 1-0 down with 2 minutes to go. He brought me on that last half hour. Scored 2 fucking goals, mate. I call that a Champions League on my own.
Isn't it? Standard United, living off one moment.
I swear Solskjaer got one of them as well.
It was a fucking deflection. It was going in anyway. He's a little fucking goal snatch. I've got the hump with him as it goes. And then he goes and gets a fucking Man United job. How many cocks he sucked? You know what I mean? Little fucking rat. Like a fucking goblin. Like a fucking elf.
If he don't nick that one, that goal on the line,
I'll go straight in the fucking top corner, you cunt. I'll get 2 goals. I'll probably end up getting player of the year that season and all. I don't know. You're talking about best seasons. I've got fucking player of the year, 34 years old, you cunt. Who else has done that?
So you're saying then, if he don't nick that goal on the goal line, you would now be the United boss, would you?
No, I don't want to be the fucking United boss. I had enough money trading the fucking Forex, you cunt, and playing poker. And I've got properties and all, and I've got brasses. I ain't short of a pound note, mate. Don't worry about that.
You sound bitter, mate.
Fucking skint pair of cunts giving it fucking invincibles and all. You're having a fucking laugh, and you're having a load of dickheads playing for fucking draws all season. It's like fucking Notting Hill Carnival playing them, like a load of fucking lab mouths. Fucking
no,
Invincibles.
For me, it was
Invincibles. How many trophies you get for that then? 1, you cunt. How many trophies you get for 100 points? 1, you cunt. How many fucking trophies did I win on my own in my fucking 30s? 3, you cunt. And I was the best player at Euro 96 before you start getting lemon about fucking internationals.
I'll tell you what, he's got a point. But
think about
for me,
Holland, yeah? 2 goals, 2 assists. Everyone remembers Shearer. No one in the fucking world would have squared that to him, apart from me, Teddy. Bosh, have that. Sliced it anyway. Fucking lucky it went in the cunt.
You and Shearer don't get on?
No, he's a fucking goal snatcher, mate. He's a cunt. Greedy. Never fucking passed to me. Boring cunt and all, and he's skin. Fuck that. Living in fucking Newcastle. You're having a laugh, mate. League title. Bosh. Fucking FA Cup on my own. Bosh. Champions League final. Off the bench. Bosh. Fucking. And then I went fucking Tottenham. Player of the year. Bosh. Fucking. Still scoring fucking hat-tricks in my 40s, you cunt. What's the matter with you? I mean, you're talking about fucking... What was fucking Alan Shearer doing when he was 40? Getting a fucking hair transplant. That's what he was doing. What was fucking Beckham doing when he was 40? Fucking running around in my... What was I doing? Still scoring fucking hat-tricks in the Premiership. Show a bit of fucking respect, will you? So, I mean, get your fucking money out of the table. How many birds you done, anyway? How many fucking birds you done? Seriously. Yeah? And how much money you got? Add them together.
Not a lot, mate.
You done a page 3, girl?
No.
Exactly.
Have you?
Of course I fucking have. I'm Teddy Sheringham, you cunt.
We're not talking about the actual paper. I mean, the real bird. Take the staple out of the paper.
Oh, cool. You fucking give it to, little fucking mug. I was here fucking A3, ain't that? Well, you fucking like South Coast, ain't you? So we are fucking down by the fucking seaside or something down there. What's the matter? I'll take the fucking Range Rover, come down here and give you a slapping mug.
Sounds like you're holding on to one moment.
Well, hardly. What about Euro 96?
All right, 2 moments.
Thank you. What about winning Players Player next season when I was fucking nearly 40? 3 moments. What about scoring hat-tricks when I was fucking about 50? 4 moments. Yeah, they're adding up now, aren't they?
And the page 3 model.
Start adding up a few fucking pound notes. Page 3, yeah, done loads of fucking page 3 words. Jordan, fucked her. Ryan Giggs, I ain't fucked him. Jordan, fucked her. Ryan Giggs' fucking little bit on the side, brother-in-law's bird, fucked her before Giggs. You ever won a treble?
I've never won a treble. You won.
You ever won anything? You good at anything?
I've never heard about you winning a treble, to be honest.
Shut up. I won a fucking treble on my own. I win anything on my own. I'm fucking blinded. And the only reason I fucking play football, I went to do fucking muggy podcasts like this, is because it is the best paid sport. I could have been a snooker player. I could have been a boxer. Could have been anything, really. Racing car driver.
I think the only thing you ever did.
Actor.
I think the only thing you were ever really that good at was winning 2-touch at half time when you was on the bench all the time.
Yeah? I'm getting lemon, are you?
Just speaking the truth, mate.
Yeah? All right, good for you then. Would you have squared that to Shearer?
No, I would have
Put it in the
I
bracket.
took all the glory myself, mate.
Yeah?
Seems like everyone wants to take goals off your toes.
Yeah, well, you've got to be fucking, you know, how many fucking, you've got to be, I don't know. Yeah, is that right, yeah? You wouldn't mind taking a few fucking goals off my toes, would you? You're sitting there fucking talking about football. You ain't got a clue what you're talking about, mate.
All right, Ted. Thanks very much for your time, pal. We'll call it there.
Fuck off.
All the best.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck off, you cunt.
Well, you gave us a few stories, lads. Have you got any other stories you can give us so we can talk about it?
Yeah, I've got one for you. As you know, we used to play against Paul Town, and Charlie Austin was playing for Paul Town, and you know, it was a Sunday afternoon. I remember it clearly. It was yesterday, and I had a phone call, and Charlie Austin was on the end of the phone, and he said, "Diapers," he said, "I want to come to." Then it was, I think it was VTFC. I'm desperate to come, you know, and it was a surprise because I mean he was banging the goals for fun, but obviously somebody told him we had a massive budget, and I'd said, well, yeah, of course, you know, no problem, mate. He goes, but one thing, he said, you know, Tommy Killick mustn't know. Don't tell him that I phoned you up, and I said, of course not, you know, not a problem. So I put Sam Dyer in, and you know.
And told it on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I actually spoke to Tommy and I said, look, I want to put an approach in for Charlie Austin. He goes, have you spoken to him? I said, no, I haven't. I don't normally lie, but I lied. You know, I said, no, sorry, mate. I haven't spoken to him at all, you know. And he goes, oh, that's okay, because if I find out you have, obviously there's no deal. So anyway, it goes through and the seventh day comes and I phones Charlie Austin up, no answer. I phones Tommy Killick up, picks the phone up, and I said, "Oh, is it okay if you give me Charlie's number?" And he said, "No." He said, "He's not coming to you." And I said, "Well, why? You know, there's got to be a reason." He said, "You spoke to him already?" I said, "No, I haven't. I didn't speak to him." And he goes, "You have?" I goes, "I haven't. Look, Tommy, I have not spoke to Charlie Austin." And he goes, "Who told you I did?" He goes, "Charlie." So he stitched me right up.
You know, I just want to touch on that. You know, I was saying about how special it is at Sholing. It must have been because you had the massive budget.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Stayed in.
Do you know what?
You should have instead of giving us all this spiel about how brilliant they are, Dogs, you should have just said, "Wow, we got loads of money."
Connor, do you know what? I was going to say that, but I didn't want to ruin it. I was going to say you could go through Dogs and cover everything. Go, yeah, it's family, and that was like, well, pretty big budget as well. Be honest with you.
I mean, it does help. We got loads of money as well.
Budget does,
but that's not
budget does help, mate. Yeah.
I've actually got a bit of an interesting thing about Charlie Austin. So, you know, when he went to Swindon, it was his first big move, wasn't it? From out of crap level, non-league to the pro game. And I think he'd been banging in the goals anyway. I think he got like 50 or 60 the season before he moved. And he'd started the season mental. I think he was on like 14 goals after about 3 games or something like that. Something ridiculous. And I remember there was like a stat that he'd scored in every game for I don't know how many months, except for there was only one game he didn't score in, and he took that on even when he went to Swindon, playing for the reserves, playing for their first team. And I remember the stat coming on Sky Sports, and it was like there's only been one game he hasn't scored for in so many months. And remember that game we played him at Winch, and that was the only game he didn't score.
We won 1-0, didn't we? Was it 1-0?
Yeah, no, we lost 1-0. Because I'm going to get to that in a sec. And I kind of live off that because I think, oh yeah, I was the only goalie that Charlie Austin didn't score against for however long.
bring it up in every single podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to try. The only problem is, it was my mistake that led to them winning 1-0. So they pinged the ball in the air. I come to get a cross, which I've never been good at. And I've tried to punch it. And as I've punched it, it's landed to Dan Can, I think. And he's volleyed it straight in and we lost 1-0. But yeah, never mind that. Charlie Austin didn't score against me. So there.
We'll be talking to Matt Letiers and they go, funny story actually about Charlie Austin.
Just throw it in there.
I don't know.
You've got to try and throw it into every podcast between now and you finish.
Yeah, Byron was telling us about some of Ashford's antics. Is there anything else that you can think of? Some of his nasty stuff that he used to like doing?
Oh, do you know what? I think Byron told you about the toenail incident.
Yeah, he said about eating your toenails. That was one of his favourite delicacies.
Do you know what? It got worse than that.
Pre-match.
That was a toenail in the dressing room. But when I played for Tottenham that season, I was meeting Ash and the boys out for a night out. And we were playing away with Tottenham. And I went into a tackle and I got pretty much my whole toenail ripped off as my big toe. And I got into the change room afterwards and there was sort of blood everywhere. And I was like, do you know what? Ash will have that later. So I put it in my... I pulled it off my toe.
Put it in a doggy bag.
And I put it in my pocket. And then I got to Ocean Village. And Ash was sat down. You were there, weren't you? Yeah. Ash was sat down. I was like, oh, Ash, got you something. He goes, what's that? And I threw him my big toe. It had gone crusty by then. And he's, oh, cheers, mate. And he stuck it straight in his mouth and started chewing on it.
Put some ketchup on it.
Oh, it's a fact. I literally saved it after the game. I thought, oh, Ash will have that later. That's perfect. And just threw it across the table to him, straight in his mouth. He drank Brighty's. I went on Brighty's stag do to Vegas, to be fair. And, Brighty had a few and was sick into a glass. And Ash drank it. I mean, he just, I mean, I was watching it. I was like, ugh. I was like retching the whole time, but he's another level. He just does those sorts of things. My stomach, I haven't got stomach for that.
He should have gone on Dirty Sanchez or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The non-league jackass. There's a funny story I got about it. It was the first time I ever signed for Sholing. You guys probably won't even remember it, but I definitely do. And so obviously I signed properly after you won the Vase and I actually played for the side. But there's a time when I signed and never played a single game. And it was when I can't remember if I'd gone to Winch at that point. I think it's before I even signed for Winch. But sometimes in non-league, signing players can be a bit of like word of mouth. Your mate says, "Oh, have a look at him," to the manager, or someone gets you in and just brings you in to have a look at him, sort of thing. So anyway, I can't remember who it was, but someone had said, I think it said to you, Dave, that, oh, Rory's a good young keeper, have a look at him. I think I was only about 19, 20 at the time. And I'd come to training one day, and it was a day when it was like your media day, so you're all having photos done and stuff like that. I think all the reserve team was there. And all the first team was there, so everyone was there ready to have their photos done. So anyway, it's before training. Everyone's getting ready, getting their kit together, and I've turned up, and everyone's like, "There you go, there's a kit. Go and get your photo done in the first team." So I've got this kit on. You can tell where this is leading. Can't you? I put the kit on. I'm like, yeah, I'm buzzing. 19-year-old thinking, yeah, I'm in the first team picture for Sholing or whatever. Got the kit on. We've all gone. We've all lined up, ready to get our photo done. Then all of a sudden, someone's gone, oh, Hookway's here. Mike Hookway's here. So if people don't know, Mike Hookway's a good goalkeeper at that level. When he played a few years for you, he's at the time he was an experienced keeper. I think he was in his late 20s, real good keeper. And he's turned up as well at the same time. I'm sort of looking around, like, what's going on? Oh, wait, hold on. We'll do the photo in a sec. Let Hooky get ready. Next thing, someone's come over and gone, mate, we're going to need your shirt. Next thing, shirt's off my back. The shirt's been given a hook. Where, yeah, mate, you're going to have to come out of this photo. This is for the good players. We've just got a good goalkeeper just turned up, so you're going to have to jump out of the photo, mate. Is that all right? So Hookway's stuck the shirt on, had the first team photo. They've gone to me, oh, do you want to just get in the reserve team photo? I'm like, fucking hell, what? I got it. I've put the reserve team kit on and all that, and I've gone, and I'm pretty sure to this day that in the club, there's that picture is somewhere, the reserve team photo, and I'm in there, and I've literally got a face like a slapped ass. Like,
did you even play a game?
No. Literally after that, I got the right ump, and I was like, well, I'm leaving now. And then I think,
didn't even sign the form. Got in 2 photos. Didn't even sign.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think I trained.
You got the picture in, yeah? You got the picture in, yeah?
Well, it's definitely. I think it's definitely up in the. It might not be in because you're out of that pigeon coop change room now. I'm pretty sure it was up in there. It might have been in the clubhouse, but I'm sure it's somewhere up at the ground still. But what I'll do is we'll dig once this episode goes up, we'll dig that photo out and we'll stick it up on Instagram so everyone knows which photo I'm talking about. Because honestly, when I look back at it now, it's so funny looking at my face in that picture and remembering how fuming I was. Another thing I wanted to touch on, obviously, we're all pretty much in the managerial game now. You guys are both managers at Sholing. I'm on the management team at Handball. Connor's literally just got the job at Whitchurch under 23s. So we're all in the management sort of area. And just wanted to, if you've got any good, well, shall I say bad excuses for players missing games or missing training that you can think of?
Oh, the worst one always is babysitting.
Babysitting. It's so easy, isn't it?
Oh, I just don't get it. Babysitting. It's like you play football and you play football at a decent level, but you can't make a game because you've got to get a babysitter. I just can't get my head around it, to be honest. And it's... when the lads tell me they can't make a Tuesday night game and because they're babysitter, I'm like, I didn't know Fiore's only's open on a Tuesday.
Babysitting some titties.
I don't get it. It's got to be the worst excuse out there.
And the thing is, it's the one that you almost can't argue with it, can you?
No. What can you say?
Kids, come to football, so you can't do that, can you?
No, bring in the football, stick them in the bar.
Yeah.
They're like, he's only 3 months old. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's more difficult.
How about you, Dodge? You had any bad ones over your 20 years of?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, most of the players, I'd set the stall out right from day one, really. You can't let the team down on the day of the match or even the evening of the match, Training is normally the one, if anything, and Tizer was a great one he must have one guy must have sold him so many house insurance policies. His house must have been insured about 20 times. It was always, I've got a meeting with the insurance guy, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, okay, Tiz, you just don't want to come training. Okay, mate, see you Saturday, So you just, you get used to it, don't you? But you always know the ones that you can trust and the ones you don't really. So you suss them out pretty early. And go from there. But normally everybody's really looking forward to matches. You get the odd one if you're playing Tiverton away or some Barnstable away on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Every manager's fear that is, because obviously
everyone's doing overtime at work.
Exactly, yeah. And so what I do is I really say to the players that if you want to play in a continuous, you've got to be available. You've got to have that commitment, especially for Southern League, because it's not like 45 minutes away trip to Brockenhurst or whatever. You're talking about 3.5, 4 hours trip sometimes to Cinderford, etc. And sometimes they got to leave work at 1 o'clock to do that. So I sympathise, but you've got to go to these places fully committed and make sure you have a full squad. Yeah,
and that brown packet definitely helped as well.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely.
It's funny how on Tuesday nights only you get a full squad there on Tuesday night.
I've got a funny one where it's not been since I've been managing, but there was a lad. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to embarrass him too much. And the funny thing is, when people have excuses, like you say, they're usually trying to think of an excuse that that they're not going to be embarrassed about, something that's going to get them out. But this lad actually admitted this to us. The reason why, I can't remember if it was training or a game. I'll say training just to make him feel a bit better. But he admitted to us that he couldn't come to training because his girlfriend's mate had come down and she was bringing her boyfriend and they were all having a fajita night together.
Wow.
What would you admit that? Surely you're going to think of a better excuse than that, aren't you?
Honestly, mate, fajitas come first. As well, I've just realised we've actually had a real terrible one. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. Rory's a Southampton fan. We actually missed the game once to go and watch Brighton play. Purely because Guy Butters could get us tickets, wasn't it? We actually missed the games. That's poor from us. Don't know why it sprung to mind.
There's a good story of that, but we'll
definitely
save that
contact
for another day, sure.
That's the day on the beers, though. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Just really wanted to watch Brighton. I think they was in Championship at the time, actually. Wasn't they?
And the worst thing is, it was when we were going through a torrid time at Winch, and I think they actually lost 10-0 that day, didn't they?
I think they were playing. They had the under-9s in the squad, I think.
The Tots playing.
Oh dear.
Them days were funny though. That was the old Bet365 days when Winch still were getting tonked 5 and 10-0 every week.
I remember those days.
It's a shame. It's pretty shameful to say it, but you know, me and Roy used to get on the coach and go, "Yeah, we'll have a bet today."
they've got us down as 4-1 favourites. What are they sure?
I used to wait until to see if you were starting, Connor. Then I used to.
That's what I think. People made a lot of money on me that season. All the good players have gone. This is a no-brainer. Get 20 quid on that. Con's playing. Con's a senior now.
Skipper.
Yeah, skipper, manager, had it all.
Oh dear. I don't know.
What about any sort of like did you do item of the week or anything at Sholing?
Oh God, we did stuff like some of that sort of stuff, like dressing silly and that, but it was a long time ago. To be fair, I haven't done that for years.
No, it's kind of gone out a bit now, hasn't it? Especially
Yeah,
the young lads, they don't know nothing about it.
No,
young lads just come in with their beat headphones on and just listening to music and don't even speak to each other. Most of them.
No, it's really changed from that perspective. You'd have fancy dress every week back in the day, wouldn't you? Just different silly things after games, but don't really happen anymore.
No.
Might bring it back.
Yeah, I think it needs to. There's a funny time when we done it once, wasn't there?
item of the week.
At Winchester, we done item of the week, and we had was it traffic signs or something?
Yeah,
everyone had to bring a traffic sign.
Actually, it went on the Hampshire Chronicle, didn't it? It was actually on the website. There, suspicious amount of road signs went missing around Winchester.
Then we made a roadblock outside.
Oh, yeah. Did a bit of that at Tottenham, to be fair, but yeah, not. I think it wears its time, doesn't it? After a while, it's people are like, do you know what? Can't be asked.
You run out of ideas eventually, don't you?
We had the funniest one we had was the you had to bring a picture of the bird you lost your virginity to. And then I think it was you that actually came up with the idea. So we stuck them all on the board, and I swear it was you, Raw, was like, right, now we got to see who's had the worst one because they're getting fined for it.
Get fined.
And we gave it to Prez. It was the lad from Newport, wasn't it? He gave it to him, and he kicked
it was
right off.
I think it was him in a wig. I'm pretty sure it was just
I remember you got out like, oh yeah, she's the worst by far. And he went fucking mental.
He was probably married to her.
All right, so we just want to do a little segment that we're going to do of every guest that we have on every episode, and it's called Top 4. So it's going to be your favourite of 4 different options. And the first one is, what are your favourite ever boots that you've worn?
Well, mine are the 1998 Predators.
Yeah,
they were like, I'd probably still wear them now. To be fair, they were a different class.
What do they look like? Them ones? They're the Zidane ones, aren't they? Zidane was quite.
They were the ones with the big tongues that you had a little elastic that you put under the boot on.
Yeah,
one of those.
The ones that Beckham like dragged all the way to the bottom of his foot, pretty much.
That's it. Basically, you wouldn't lace up the top 2 lace holes. You'd put the tongue as far over as you can.
Yeah,
and then elastic underneath. Yeah, it was all about how you looked, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's literally no tongues on boots anymore, is there?
No,
I think it's almost now like bad players have the tongues down, don't they? Like if you look at I think that's another sign of a bad player. That is like, if they got the copers and they have the tongue right down and they're laced around the bottom of the boot. I think that's a sign there that this lad's not going to be very good.
So you've just named now my old man's boots. He's going to say still got them. Oh dear!
I was going to say this. It's only going to be either Puma Kings or Cobras for Dave.
Or the Umbro Speciales.
Yeah, the Umbro Speciales. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now Puma King or Adidas World Cup.
Yeah,
that's it, mate. Black and white.
That's what you're going for, is it?
That's it. Mate.
Not them.
I remember when Puma King got launched. I got the first ever red pair, and I got kick lumps out of. I think there's the only player on the pitch with a pair of coloured boots on.
Yeah.
We were playing Moneyfields.
Yeah,
Playing Moneyfields.
Yeah. Playing Paulsgrove away.
Boots are mental these days,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're just mental colours.
I remember that when I was a little kid. Do you remember what they called Pantofolo Dior or
Yeah.
something random like that?
That's it.
And I think they made the first ever white pair of boots. And I was like, I don't know why, I just thought I was cool and a flashy little git of a keeper. And I remember getting those white boots when I was only like, I don't know, 8. And you just look back thinking, what are you doing, mate? You're a goalie. Just stick to black Predators and just kick the ball and shut up.
I wore white and silver boots for about the last 5 years of my career because I thought it made me look quicker. like when I run, if I move my arms faster as well.
Silver Surfer.
White boots, I felt I look quicker. So it's definitely a tip for getting older on them.
All right, we'll move on to the next one then. So, favourite ever ground that you've played at? I mean, Wembley's the obvious one. Is there any, if we bypass Wembley, is there any other grounds that you can think of at the best ground for you? Or it might even be just a reason that you've had great games there or something like that.
It's got to be for the Dow, really.
Yeah.
Lucky enough to play there a couple of times. And as we spoke before, it's quite a special little stadium that was. And right in the heart of Southampton as well, by the way. So it was really, really good, which makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But so it's a Dow for me.
Quality.
Yeah, probably, obviously, separate to Wembley, probably St Mary's, played at the Dow. Probably my best ever game was we played Yeovil away in the, I think it was at Eastleigh at the time, played Yeovil away. It's probably one of the best games I ever played, to be fair. So proper good memories of playing at a decent ground there then. But the obvious ones are going to be, St Mary's, Dow and Wembley.
Yeah. Cool, that's good. What about favourite ever kit that you've ever worn or bought, shall we say, for you, Dipes? As Byron was telling us that you're real into your looking smart and with tracksuits and kits and stuff like that. So
it's got to be the old Saints Draper Talk sponsors 85, 86 season.
Yeah, well, that's Hummel, wasn't it?
Patrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
They've just gone back to the Hummel next year, haven't they?
That's it. They
That's
have.
right. Yeah. That's pretty special. Short sleeves. So that's what I've got.
Mine was the 1982 England kit.
Oh, which one was that?
It was the one that didn't have it just had the England badge on it. I think it might have been Admiral, but it's real cool. You'd wear it. Some people wear it now. I wouldn't suit me now, but people would still wear it out now. It's one of those like vintage ones.
Yeah, the vintage ones. Yeah, just looking at it now. So it's obviously got the navy, then the red, and across the shoulders.
That's it.
Yeah, that's smart. To be fair, does look nice.
It's decent, actually.
We had some Sholing. We had some. We had some bad kits, didn't we? We had some. I've been there so long that I've worn. You remember the baggy sleeve shirts?
Some tents.
Baggy. Like I've gone through tight, short shorts, the whole lot. We've had some real bad. What was the purple one we bought?
Yeah, there was one. Yeah, about 2002. I think we had a purple and green striped thing. Oh my god, it was awful. I had players not coming to the club because we didn't have the right kit. Friggin' nightmare it was. It was a guy called Clem Jakubowski who sponsored it, and he loved it. So we had to stick with it for a season. But we got rid of him in the end.
Yeah. It's horrendous.
You have to bring it back for his 25th anniversary then in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then the final one would be, what's your favourite ever goal? Doesn't necessarily have to be what you've scored. I mean, for you, Dave, you can just give us a favourite goal that the team has scored that you can remember, and then you can say it's all down to your tactics.
Well, first of all, it's all down to the budget. No, I mean the favourite goal. Actually, there's two. There's one which I scored against Andover Town, which the goalie come out and he punched, and the ball actually went quite away, but I was in midfield and I just did it on a half volley. Basically, went top bin, so I was quite happy with that one. But
no one's alive now that actually saw that goal. That's no one can prove that one.
The other one was really Dan Mason against Fareham. It's been on YouTube as well. So it's from I think TJ took a throw in, and it sort of like sort of turned and hit the ball in one motion, and it was like top bins, brilliant, excellent goal. You never see a better one. So, and he does score quite a few, by the way.
Yeah, just a few. I think I've seen that. It's on, like you say, it's on YouTube, isn't it? The Sholing versus Fareham game. They'll be able to find it if they want to.
Has he been tapped up by any pro clubs, Dipes? Because his scoring record's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I think, pro clubs. We're talking about no pro clubs, but obviously there was Weymouth, which were interested in him. With D, I think what other managers look at as well is the appearances, and sometimes they look at the injury side of things as well.
Yeah,
because it's it makes up a full package, doesn't it? It's not just about goals; it's about how many appearances in a row, etc., etc. And Dan will play with a broken leg, like we all know, but he's pretty precious to us in any team, because goal scorers are very hard to find, but. It's important this break. That's one thing for this break. Hopefully he's rested up a little bit, because if he comes back fully fit, I think we'll have a job to keep hold of him,
Yeah, definitely. And I've got no shame admitting that I tried to poach him for when you guys weren't playing. Oh, please give me Dan, please. We're going to get relegated otherwise.
I don't know how to answer anymore. It's getting awkward.
What does he want now? Which player does he want from us now?
Yeah. To be fair, when we played Slough Town in the FA Cup, he scored 2 goals when we were away, and they put an approach in for him the next season as well.
Yeah.
But also, he doesn't drive either, so it doesn't help. I think if he drove, it'd give him more options.
Yeah, of course.
So, because they're travelling in that sort of level, you need to be able to drive, really. So,
how old is he now? 26?
I think.
Yeah, 26, 20. Yeah, it's about 26, I think. Yeah.
What about you then, Mark? Your favourite goal?
Oh, do you know what? I scored a goal against North Lee a few years back. And if you've played at North Lee, it's that slope down the hill.
Yeah.
And it was it was about 400 yards out. It was
you went on a golf course, mate.
So the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it was just everything was perfect. Like it was warm weather. You know how a ball pings better in the warm weather.
Yeah.
It was just inside their half, and the keeper was talking to his back four, still organising, and I hit it from just inside our half, and fortunately it went in.
Was it a free kick? Was it
free kick? Yeah. I had but I didn't drive it. Fenner said to me afterwards. He said, "Who takes a free kick from that far out and side foots it?" I side footed it, so it went with the wind and then sort of bent round as well.
Yeah.
So the keeper went one way and it went back the other way. And Fenners was like, "Well, why did you do that?" I said, "Well, just I could side foot a ball a long way, so I just side footed it really with a bit of whip on it."
Yeah.
And then a bit of whip and dip.
That was my trick. If anyone ever gave me a back pass, I was like, I'm not messing this up. I've seen too many keepers have the ball go under their feet from back passes. Everything's a side foot down the pitch for me. So yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and then so that was that one. And then in the second half, I went up for a header. I think Josh Dutton Black was playing for them. I went up for a header and he gave me a nudge in the back as I went a header it, missed it, and they equalised. So it was, the edge was taken off it a little bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
But you talk about players controlling balls. I don't really notice now that everyone controls the football like they do in futsal. Like when a ball's rolled to them, always put the foot on top of the ball.
Yeah.
So many keepers have messed. Like McCarthy's does it all the time for Saints.
I know. I don't get it. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, I don't know why people started controlling the ball that way, but there's obviously a reason for it. But
like you say, he done it the other day, didn't he? Is that when you talk about when there should have been a foul on Foden?
I've seen it a few times in top class keepers that try and put their foot on top of the ball and it goes underneath their foot. They're not looking. I'm like, just control the ball properly.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah. Anyway, that was my best goal, to be fair. And then after that, Brighty bought me a can of whipped cream, and the next game I went out on the pitch. We sprayed my foot with whipped cream out on the pitch like it for the game.
Oh, so that brings us to the end of the episode. Thanks a lot to both of Diapers for being with us today. It's been a great laugh and a great chat. Before we go, we just want to tell you about every episode we're doing a charity donation, and it's the choice of our guests. So yeah, guys, if you want to just let us know that the charity you've chosen and just a little bit on that.
Yeah, I'm chosen Dementia UK. It's quite sort of my old lady sort of died of dementia, and so it's quite close to home, really, in a way. But obviously nowadays as well, with all this, all these players going down with about heading the ball, back in the day, it's quite a serious thing, really. But Dementia UK, I think dementia now is a number one killer. So it's important that we're aware of that, and it's a great charity to finance. So also I'll be donating on top of it as well.
Great.
Lads as well. I'm going to put £100 in as well. So
You want to just send that to me, Dibes? I'll make sure that goes.
Yeah, I'll get you a shirt for it, mate.
We got to tell Byron to get £100 less now as well.
Yeah. Like we're saying, we need to try and get some guessing for the next season. So
yeah.
All right, spot on. Job done. Just before we go, just want to let you know that if you want to follow us on Instagram, the page is at Up the Podcast, and on Twitter it's Up the Podcast 1 because someone stole the original one, so we ended up getting stitched up and having to put a 1 on the end. You can follow Marc and Dave Diaper on Instagram and Sholing FC on both Instagram and Twitter. It's the same. And that'll do then. So next episode is with Mark Dennis, episode 4, which is sure to be chaotic. And we'll see you there. Up the podcast.
Up the podcast.